as their party's presumptive nominees after the least competitive primaries in living presidential memory. They have 8 months to prove that they've got big answers to the big questions dividing America. Should the US continue to back Israel in Gaza? How do we end Putin's war in Ukraine? Should the US keep funding it? Who will fix the migrant crisis at the southern border? An economy many people feel is broken. Who stands to gain or lose the most from the continued momentum of people like RFK Jr.? Our guests for this debate have strong views and a big influence in the digital space, where so many scores are now settled. Together at last, I'm joined by the streaming liberal Destiny, Andy Johnson, and Dave Smith.
I think that it's pretty undeniable
What's
that
up,
Trump
guys?
is kind of a
How you guys doing?
mean-spirited guy. Every single thing that he does is just ultimately to serve his needs or his ends at the end of the day.
To call somebody demonic like Donald Trump, who's actually against the 10 million people who have been human smuggled.
Yeah, man, this
into
dude is
country.
Destiny
Many of them
is
children.
crazy,
Have you ever been
bro.
down to the border, Destiny? Have you seen the rape trees? Trump brought world peace. How dare you?
The
First
virtue
child.
signaling is off the charts. I didn't kill anybody.
And even in this State of the Union, which, as you said, and I'll agree, he did better than if the standard is he was able to walk and get up there and read words off a teleprompter. For whatever reason, his position on the war in Gaza
you guys
has
doing
just
today?
totally ruined his campaign. This is just not the case for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
So welcome all to all three of you. I've been looking forward to this, I got to say. 3 titans of your businesses coming together to talk about what is probably, I don't know, depending on your viewpoint, this is either the most depressing moment in modern American politics or something that is, I don't know, indicative of a wider malaise.
How you guys doing this
you might
afternoon?
argue,
Appreciate you
about the
stopping
way
by.
the world is going, where celebrity triumphs substance, where age is no longer seen to be a problem. Who knows what we're talking about here, but you guys can thrash it out between you. I want to start by playing what, this is Bill Maher's show from Friday night, and he had Robert De Niro on, who said this about Trump.
He's
Oh,
such
God.
a mean, nasty, hateful person.
Who cares?
I'd never play him as an actor because I can't see any good in him. Nothing at all. Nothing redeemable in him. If he wins the election, you won't be on the show anymore. He'll
Good.
come looking for me.
See ya.
There'll be things that happen that none of us can imagine.
You see how liberals do, though, you guys? I'm going to finish this in 1 second. You guys see how these liberals do, though? They try and play into people's emotions. Like, it's so corny, bro.
I mean, okay, let's start with Destiny. I got to say, when I saw that, I just thought, really? Isn't this liberals falling into the old trap of over-demonizing Trump to the extent that actually it just helps him?
Yep.
I think that there is an issue when it comes to covering Trump because it feels like there is an over-demonization of Trump.
What's up,
But
RJJ?
also,
How you doing,
Trump
bro?
is kind of a demon. Like, I think that it's funny because people will look at the left and they'll say that, people are harping too much on Trump's rhetoric or how mean he is towards people on Twitter. But then when you talk to conservatives, it seems
Such
like
a
Trump's Twitter
scumbag,
behavior
bro,
is
and
the
he used to be
number
one of my favorites.
selling point for why they like him so much. Like, yeah, I don't know what he does with policy. I don't know what he does with legislation.
Listen, I'm about to pause this. I want you guys to notice this, right? Does Destiny not sound like he's being fast forward? I thought maybe for some reason when I was watching this earlier, I thought they were fast forwarding him talking for some reason. I don't know why, but this is just how this dude talks.
But, he's got a lot of really good zingers. Like, this is a guy who's known for giving mean nicknames to his debate stage opponents. I don't think it's that crazy to say.
What is the difference between giving mean names to your debate stage opponents? What does Biden do to all the Republican supporters? He basically says we should all be in prison. Like, what is this dude talking
Trump
about?
has some of the most divisive rhetoric and is one of the meanest people
Okay.
that we've seen as like a world leader on the world stage, at least insofar as like.
Everybody,
how
please
he
make sure to
addresses people
smash that
does.
like for me
Yeah,
if you
but I
could.
always say, you see, about this, that there's a lot of hypocrisy about
Yes.
this based around Trump's
Right,
rhetoric
1000%,
compared to his
1000%.
actions. For example,
Not
with
only
Barack
that.
Obama, who obviously didn't tweet incendiary things about people.
Just said bomb.
and was-
He just drone striked everybody in the world. That's all Barack Obama did. Nothing. His rhetoric was good though, but he drone striked everybody. Literally killed people. It's all right
the
though.
epitome of kind of civilized presidential public office behavior. But he still deported over 3 million people. He still ran a terrible drone program. He still dropped more bombs in 1 year than any president in modern history. He kept Guantanamo Bay open despite campaigning to shut it, etc. He's the angel.
Look at
Trump's the
Destiny get
devil.
triggered.
And I don't think either's particularly accurate.
Yep, basically.
I don't think I would say that Obama is an angel, but I mean, there's a
No,
separate
no.
discussion between besides the character of a person and the actual policy positions or things they did in office. I think Trump would lose on both counts, but
Nothing to
separate
see
from
here,
policy.
No, Obama was going for a nuke in Call of Duty. He thought he was getting it with the drone strike for sure.
Or, effectuality or ineffectuality as a leader. I think that it's pretty undeniable that Trump is kind of a mean-spirited guy.
Who
When you
cares?
look at how he runs his campaign, when you look at how he runs the country,
It's just how
he's
you
a very
liberals feel.
self-driven person. Like every single thing that he does
No.
is just ultimately to serve his needs or his
No, it's to serve what was better for us as the whole
ends at
country.
the end of
Not
the day.
just
Whether that means throwing political opponents under the bus, whether that means throwing political allies under the bus, whether that means not helping
You're a
Georgia's
scumbag, dude.
Senate elections because he's so angry that Raffensperger wouldn't turn over enough votes for him, and now Georgia has 2 blue senators. Like, I don't know. Just Trump is a really mean dude. And again,
Okay.
yeah, you can switch over and you can look at the foreign policy position too. But I mean,
That's
we're
your
talking about
your argument is he's a really mean dude. That's your argument. He's a really mean dude.
Obama's follies, but Trump also abandoned our Kurdish allies in Syria to Turkey. Trump
Dude,
also
he is on
inflamed
something.
tensions in the Middle
Bro, look at them pupils. His pupils are huge.
East when he recognized, the Jerusalem, moving the embassy over to Jerusalem and the United States' recognition
Everybody,
of Israel.
please
annexing
make sure to
Jerusalem
hit the
and
like
everything.
for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Trump wins on any count where he would come off as a nice guy.
Okay, I mean, Benny Johnson, does it matter whether Trump's a nice guy or not? I think people have baked in now what he is. He's a shoot from the hip, guy that loves to talk. He's pretty narcissistic, okay. He's pretty bombastic. He's pretty pugilistic. If you read his book, The Art of the Deal, he says if somebody punches me, metaphorically or real, I'll punch them 10 times back. There's nothing new about any of Trump's behavior if you have studied his behavior for the last 40, 50 years. He just happens to be a guy who won the White House and right now is actually looking like he's favorite to win it back. So for all the rhetorical issues around Trump, and the supposed meanness, there are tens of millions of Americans who are queuing up to vote for him.
Yeah, so let's talk about tens of millions. I particularly take quite a bit of umbrage with the description of Donald Trump as demonic. I think that is quite shocking as a Christian myself to call somebody demonic like Donald Trump, who's actually against the 10 million people who have been human smuggled into this country, many of them children. I remember a time not too long ago when people the left cared about children in cages. Yet now they're calling Donald Trump demonic. He wants to stop these human smuggling by the cartels. Have you ever been down to the border, Destiny?
Right, there shouldn't even be children in cages because in all honesty, we shouldn't be taking illegal immigrants anyway, regardless. We shouldn't be taking them. It's just common sense, but like some of these liberals are just so far gone out their head, bro. It's just sad.
Have you seen the rape trees? Have you seen the little children's toys that are left down there from the human smuggling that is created by Joe Biden, the biggest human smuggler in human history? Do you know the carnage and the horror that is being created by those policies? Let's not even talk about how Joe Biden has done.
He knows. He knows. Believe me, he knows.
The world stage. Donald Trump brought world peace. You're going to talk about Kurds and wars? How about Ukraine? Joe Biden could have stopped that war before it even started. Joe Biden continues that war and continues the funding of that war that is leading to the wholesale slaughter of an entire region. Joe Biden could stop it right now. Joe Biden has brought war around the world. And then let's talk about the fentanyl poisoning America. You want to talk about cruelty? It took
Everybody, if you guys could, please hit that like for me really quick. It really does help out a lot. You guys have no idea. I really appreciate you stopping by regardless. Please hit the like for me if you could. It really, really helps with the stream out a lot.
Joe Biden, 400 days to go to East Palestine in Ohio, a city that was poisoned by our federal government in a chemical explosion. Much less the chemical explosion that is happening all throughout America with fentanyl, slaughtering 100,000 Americans. And the final thing I'll say here, how dare you call Donald Trump demonic when Joe Biden hasn't even said Laken Riley's name correctly, called her Lincoln Riley when he was forced to. This woman was slaughtered by a criminal alien
Yep.
who was in this country illegally, who was
Unfortunately,
released by
RJ.
Democrats, and went on to slaughter a nursing student in Georgia with his bare hands. And Joe Biden apologized to the murderer. How dare you say
Pathetic, wow.
that Donald Trump's demonic? Can you defend any of that behavior? Final thing I'll say here is Joe Biden wouldn't acknowledge his own grandchild. Even the New York Times said that is a sick, evil behavior. So if
Yeah,
you're
that's a
looking for
little
demonic
pathetic.
behavior, my friend, I got it for you. It's sitting in the White House in 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in a diaper right now during nap time.
Wow. Okay, that's what.
Destiny doesn't want to admit it either. He knows what he's saying is all 1000% true, but these liberals are just so scared of being wrong that they'll literally go to death for the wrong.
Well, I call it a rebuttal. Let's come to Dave Smith. Before we do, let's play that clip that Benny referenced. This is when Joe Biden, in the State of the Union address, did not pronounce Laken Riley's name properly.
It's not about him. It's not about me. I'd be a winner. Not really.
Why are they all boo?
Lincoln Riley.
Lincoln
An innocent young woman who was
Riley!
killed by an illegal. That's right.
Now, Dave, the issue for Biden.
If I may,
Sorry, Benny?
if I may, just since I brought up the clip, if you don't mind, Piers.
Sure.
Could I ask Destiny right now, would you like to apologize to Laken Riley's family for her murder? Since
Well-
this open border Democrat policies that you promote on your program, would you like to apologize to the parents of Laken Riley?
Now, I'll say this. I get what Benny Johnson's saying, but he didn't murder anybody. You know what I mean? It was that guy that did it. You got to say, hey, can you just say, hey, it's your policies that you support that are the cause of these things going on? It's not like this dude Destiny didn't actually murder anybody.
For the murder of
the
her
virtue
child.
signaling is off the charts. I didn't kill anybody, so I'm not going to apologize to anybody for somebody getting
No,
killed.
but there are
Unfortunately, there are a lot of people
policies
that
that
get
you-
killed in the
Yeah.
United States for a large variety of reasons. If anybody gets killed, especially based on the background of this guy, this guy definitely should have been deported. I don't think
Yeah,
anybody disagrees with that.
But that's the thing that he doesn't understand is the liberals supporting this. That's what they say, that they should be allowed to stay. Look at what just happened in New York, right? Didn't those wasn't there like 3 illegals or 2 illegals or something? Didn't they just beat up a cop and then get let go? Like, are you serious? This is just ridiculous.
But hey, listen, if you want the border stuff to be cleared up so much, why don't you tell Republicans to stop turning into a game in the White House or in Congress and actually approve legislation to get more funding down for the border?
Okay,
Right now, it's Republicans who pulled the plug on that because Trump wants to maintain the one little bit of electoral advantage he might
That's
have,
not
which
it.
is you guys trying to stir stuff up over the border. And it's funny also how you frame this all like, oh, they're trying to stop human smuggling. No, they're not. They're just trying to secure the border. Humans are going to be smuggled all over the place, regardless of whether it's into America or not. It's not like Trump actually cares about
Destiny,
Right, but here's a couple things, right? Number one, the whole point is to not have it happen here. We understand it's going to happen, but that doesn't mean we should allow it to happen here. And number two, he's not saying the part where how much money they're trying to package into that border deal to send over to Ukraine and to Israel. No, not happening, bud. We understand what you're saying. Yeah, we should stop the border from happening. But what they're proposing is just cover up for sending money overseas. That's all it is. They don't care.
the truth, Destiny, what I would say about that is, whether you're on the left or right in America, nobody can dispute that the southern border is in complete and utter turmoil.
Oh,
And
dude,
I'm
it's
afraid If
terrible.
you're the President of the United States and you've been there for 3 years, it's on you, right? He's done nothing to stop it. In fact, he's made it a lot worse. Dave Smith, you've been very patiently waiting. Get stuck
This is the
in.
most patient I've ever been in my life.
Everybody, can you guys please make sure to hit that like for me if you could? It really helps out a lot.
I appreciate it. But get stuck in now.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, I think probably Destiny, even you could admit that it just shows such a tremendous disconnect and a contempt for the voters and this weird woke progressive value that after getting her name wrong, he apologizes in his next interview for calling the guy an illegal and says he should have said undocumented, but doesn't say, hey, so, like, can you at least grant that apologizing for calling an insensitive name to the murderer and not apologizing for getting the actual name of the murder victim correct it's like, are you trying
What's up,
to
Tammy?
throw the election? It's almost as if like these woke progressive values
Close the
have
border
taken
without a
people to
doubt,
point
Tammy.
where
Close
they
the
can't
border.
even do what's in their
It's
own
just
political interest.
And people say it's like, oh, it's racist and it's because of the Mexicans. Well, no, it's not just Mexicans coming over. It's the Chinese are coming over through the border. And now Haitians are coming over through the border. And it's going crazy. I'll show you guys some stuff I seen, man. I seen this thing where this Haitian dude killed somebody. I gotta find it. I'll see if we can look it up after this. But yo, everybody, please make sure to hit the like for me really quick.
Because you would just think that the vast majority of voters would be like, well, clearly you owe an apology to one of these people, and it's not the murderer.
Dave, what do you think is going to happen in November?
Well, I mean, this is a really tough election to predict. I mean, I'll tell you, I think that the three-letter organizations that really run the United States of America and have much more power than the elected representatives, I think they have pretty clearly signaled that Donald Trump returning to the White House is unacceptable to them, and they are going to use whatever means necessary to not let that happen. And in that case, like if you're betting against the CIA, you may not win. If there is a democratic process and Trump is not removed, as of right now, I think there's absolutely no question that Donald Trump gets elected. Look, if you look at any of the polling, the major two issues are the economy and immigration. And Trump is where the American people are much more than Joe Biden is. He can try to spin it now and say, oh, well, we're trying to do border security, but the Republicans aren't playing ball. But you just can't ignore the last, since 2016, Trump was demonized viciously by every single progressive for talking about building a wall, talking about having border security. To try to turn it around now and be like, no, I'm really the border hawk and the open border is Donald Trump's fault is just not going to sell. Their message on the economy is essentially, the economy is really good. You're just too stupid.
You know what's crazy, Tammy? You're allowed to feel like that. But people will make you think that you're not allowed to feel like that. If you don't want to live by somebody or if you don't want somebody around you, you have every right to feel like that. And you shouldn't be shunned for it. It's just dumb to me. I have all kinds of friends. I could care less. As long as somebody's good to me, I'll be good to them. But I get it, without a doubt. And you have every right to feel like that because you're your own person.
Stupid to realize how good it is. And
that's what's wrong with most of these liberals. They want everybody to think like them and to be like them. When it's not what it is. You know what I mean? Not everybody thinks like you.
Also,
I know liberals don't think like me. I'm cool with it.
I think Donald Trump, at least rhetorically, with foreign policy, is much closer to where the American people are right now, which is after 20 plus years of terror wars, every last one of them an absolute disaster. The funding the war in Ukraine, everything they said was going to happen has not happened. And I think that the kind of non-interventionist America first, again, at least rhetorically, there's a lot of things Trump did on foreign policy that I don't support. But I think he's certainly much closer to where the American people are than Joe Biden on all of the biggest issues.
Destiny.
And that's and by the way, I would just add that is what is appealing to Trump supporters. And I'm not a Trump supporter, but that's what's appealing to Donald Trump supporters, not the fact that he sends mean tweets. And you can talk to any Trump supporter.
What's really fascinating to me are two recent polls.
I want to find this TikTok that this girl did after this too, and I'll show you guys something really funny.
Destiny, which I think should send a shiver down the spine of all Democrats, which is a poll from March the 3rd. Donald Trump's support among black voters has grown by 500% in the last 4 years, according to the New York Times. His support among black voters is now 23%, marking a 19% increase since October 2020. And a poll from the Arab American Institute from the end of 2023 showed support among Arab American voters for Biden has plummeted by nearly 60% in 2020 to 17% today.
Well, yeah, that's because the majority of Arabics are Muslims or, follow the Muslim religion. And all the shit with the LGBTQ shit in the schools, all the transsexual shit, they don't rock with it with their religion. That's not their thing.
day. Yeah, I mean, those two things are quite extraordinary when his main opponent is somebody that the Democrats love to demonize, quite literally.
Yo, we got 7 people in here. What's up, everybody? Everybody, please, if you could, just really, really, really quickly, please. We got 7 people in here. We got 2 likes. Could you guys please make sure to hit the like for me really quick? It really helps out a lot.
You use that word yourself, but they demonize him constantly as the worst racist in America. Why is it that those two things are happening?
Well, for people voting from the Middle East or of Arab descent or whatever, right now they're probably going to be heavily influenced by stuff going on in Israel-Palestine, obviously. But I think that Americans' memory when it comes to foreign policy tends to be pretty short. So we'll have to see where Israel-Palestine is at in 6 months to see how much that's on the forefront of people's minds. But again, for any person that's not supporting Biden because they think he's being too harsh on Gaza, it's not like Trump would be any better. Again, Trump is a staunchly pro-Israel supporter. Trump was the one who recognized the moving of that embassy. The idea,
but I think here's the difference between Trump and Biden, right? They might both support Israel, but I highly doubt if Trump was president right now, he would be funding Israel's war. I highly doubt it.
The idea that Donald Trump is going to try to,
or Israel would even be, or this would even be going on if Trump was president at all. That's the point.
Rein in the leash on Israel more than Biden has is ridiculous. As for minority votes for Trump, again, it's hard to say. Everything is so up in the air. There were just some polls that came out recently that showed that there was almost like a 10-point swing in how people are viewing Biden's senility just after the State of the Union, where Democrats and independent voters now have a much more favorable view of Biden after the State of the Union in regards to his senility. And I also saw that the AP posted something today showing that a majority of American voters think that both Biden and Trump are too old and senile to be in office. So I think that we're going to have to wait a few months until we get closer to the election to see what.
Bro, I swear, Destiny talks like he is fucking on fast forward right now. This is great. Look at his eyes right now. Oh my God, his pupils are huge.
What people actually care about, because every time an issue comes up, people think this is going to be the election deciding issue.
You know what? That's cool.
Then,
you don't have to like either one.
Else comes up in a month or two.
I love Trump. I think he was a great president.
When the actual election
definitely not perfect, but I'm 37 years old, and I can honestly say Trump is the best president in my lifetime, and that is me being 1,000% honest. I voted for Obama. The first time I ever voted, I voted for Obama. Within 6 months, I instantly regretted it because I realized I did not follow with the Democrats or the liberals' ideology. Not really a Republican either. I'm more of an independent conservative, I would like to say. I mean, I guess for the most part, I do vote Republican, but if it were, so the year, okay, so the first year I voted Obama. When I realized he's still a tool in a program with agenda. Going with this. That's true, David. So the first time I voted, like I said, I voted for Obama, and I instantly realized. But when it was Obama versus Romney, I couldn't vote for Romney either. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm not like I'm not an old school valued Republican. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't vote for Romney. I wouldn't have voted for George Bush. I think that the first time I could have voted for George Bush, I want to say. And I didn't want to vote for anyone. It just wasn't my thing. But then I voted for Obama, and I instantly regretted it, and I didn't vote for anybody when him and Romney were going up because, I don't know, Romney just seemed evil to me for some reason, and I was like, I don't support Obama, but I can't support this guy either, you know what I mean? So I'm just not going to vote. Because I feel like third-party votes are just insignificant. You know what I mean? I understand, you want to get your voice across, blah, blah, blah. But if you're not voting Democrat or you're not voting Republican, you're not really doing anything because you're basically throwing your vote away, especially in states where it really, really counts. Anyway, the first year, when I seen Trump was on the ballot, his first year, I wasn't anything. You know what I mean? I never even really got into politics until Trump became president, right? So the first year, I'm like, you know what? I'm like, Trump's rich. He speaks his mind. From what I've seen, I didn't know much about him, honestly. I didn't know much about Trump. When I see him, other than, throughout the years, he was always in touch with everybody. I remember the roast. The roast was freaking hilarious, too. I liked him. I liked Trump. So for me, that was enough to say, okay, he's one of the richest people. He doesn't need to steal. He doesn't need anything from us. What does he need? Like, anything he can do as president does not benefit him for what he is about, and that's making money, right? If anything, being president is maybe, I looked at it as him paying his debt back to being one of the richest people in the world, or at least in the country. I don't know if he's one of the richest in the world. I don't look into stuff like that. To me, him being president is paying his debt back to becoming who he is. You know what I mean? And this is the greatest country, and I feel like he really, really appreciates that. That's just me. You know, everybody doesn't have to have the same viewpoint as me, and that's perfectly fine. I know Trump from the '80s. Yeah, I I I just seen, like, I've seen so many different things, you know, and I just remember when everybody loved him and everybody wanted to be him and blah blah blah, and then like as soon as he ran as a Republican, like everybody just hated him. It's like they were told to hate him or something, you know. I don't know. I just thought it was weird. Let's get back into this. We'll talk a little bit more later.
As much as people say this is why Trump is popular, this is why most Americans support Trump, Trump has never won a popular election in the entire history of the United States.
Because the election's a lie.
Conservatives enjoy a great deal of structural advantage, whether it's the composition of the Senate and each state getting 2 votes, whether it's the composition of the House and a disproportionate amount of voters in conservative states being represented, or whether it's the electoral
Without a
college,
doubt,
where somebody
Tammy.
like Donald Trump
Without
can
a
lose
doubt.
to Hillary Clinton by millions of votes and still somehow come away with the presidency. So don't fall for this illusion that Trump has ever been the most popular candidate in the United States. That's not true. Even in the elections he's won, he's only won it because of the structural advantages that
Okay,
conservatives
but he
enjoy
was the-
in the
all
US
right,
electoral
he was-
system.
We're a constitutional dude. Have you read the founding documents? We're a constitutional republic. We're not a direct democracy. That's not how this country was founded. If you want that, move to a different country.
Right.
That's-
Go to
that's not-
go to the Congo, my dude. Go to the Congo. We're a constitutional republic.
No,
The-
nothing.
presidency
No,
was never
nothing,
supposed to
no
be
part of what I just said
was
was
never-
complaining about the structure of our democracy. I was just explaining
But
that
this
using
idea,
an
this
electoral system to
pop-
point to the popularity of the president isn't exactly accurate. Are you following the conversation?
The popular vote argument was never part of.
But listen, in all honesty, I will say this: 2024 right now, this is one of the most important elections ever in America, because this election is going to decide where this country is going to go. Seriously. And if Trump is not part of the swamp and they cannot control him because he's self-sufficient. This is very true. He's the only way to break the democratic system of oppression. That is very true, David. Hello, let me call you back later. I'm streaming right now. Huh? No, I'll call you. I'll call you back in a minute. Bye. Bye. No, we are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic.
The founding of this nation and was never designed to be the way that we elect our leaders. So, I mean, again, that's
I
just
agree.
fantasy.
That's
And that
cool.
also
I'm glad.
wasn't
Thank
our
you. Do you want
point.
to
I
say any
wasn't
other
saying
obvious
that
facts
there's-
about how the United States works?
Dude, Destiny
So,
talks.
I guess
Like,
what I'm saying is your argument is
do you think America is under attack? I do believe we are. I don't think America is under attack. I think we are attacking ourselves.
your
Why-
argument.
We are allowing everything that's going on, and it's our fault. And I'm being honest with you. This is our fault. We allowed the government to get as big as it is. It's all our fault.
Is
People support
specious.
him.
Your argument is totally irrelevant because you're saying Donald Trump never won the popular vote, but who the hell cares?
Yeah, look, I think the
Well, if
bottom,
you're
the
saying that
bottom
Donald
line
Trump's
is
the most popular
the
candidate
bottom,
in the
let me
United
just jump in a
States,
minute.
rejoice about
Let me jump in. I think the bottom line is, regardless, Donald Trump won the White House in 2016, and all the polls suggest he might well win it again. Which, for a guy who literally was never a politician but was a real estate magnate and a TV star, is pretty sensational, and some might think pretty damning of the American political system. One of the reasons, Benny, I think that Trump is so popular with so many Americans is he does not behave like a regular politician. It's part of his charm to them. And one of the examples I would give was his reaction after the Biden State of the Union thing. He put out some Snapchat filters morphing Biden's face into Pinocchio or woman. Some pictures here.
Yo, I want to show you guys something I did a long time ago on my Snapchat. I was just looking at it. Look, I did this the other day, or I did this 3 years ago. Did that 3 years ago.
And you can't look at that and not laugh. I mean, even if you hate Trump, it's funny.
Won't he go into effect? Expires in 2025.
I didn't see that one. I seen that one. I didn't see the Pinocchio nose one though.
Forest fires.
You see, Benny, this is part of the magic of Trump as a politician. I think it's good or bad magic, or nice fairy dust or evil set fairy dust. He is very smart at making Americans laugh. Right? You can't watch one of his rallies with his free-rolling addresses to the world without laughing quite regularly, even if you hate the guy. And that is part of the reason people gravitate.
I got this at my first Trump rally. I seen this black dude selling it on the side of the road, and he had like a big ass stand. I'm like, oh, I gotta get that.
He's not like a normal politician.
Right. So Trump is the most famous man who has probably ever lived, and most powerful, quite frankly.
Yo, can you guys make sure to hit that like for me if you haven't yet?
Because
it really
Trump's been a
helps out.
celebrity for 50 years. He really knows that industry. And it was quite interesting. If we want to go back to last weekend, we were able to sit ringside with Trump at UFC. We didn't know Trump was going to be there, but this weekend in Miami, in walks Donald Trump. 70,000 people in Miami cheering for Donald Trump. This used to be a blue city. And the roars were like a 70,000 person army taking the field of battle. It was really something to behold. But this is what was very interesting, Piers. And this is something I think you'll appreciate because you interview a lot of celebrities. At that event, there were NFL quarterbacks, billionaires, tech titans, media moguls, people that were leftists, people that were Democrats, every single one of them coming up to Donald Trump to say hello, to clap him on the back, to get a photo. Now, normally it's the politicians running up to the celebrities to try and get a little brush the shoulders, right? They were running to Trump. What does that say? That says Trump is culture. That says Trump is the epoch of where they actually want to be. The masculine American celebrity that has truly conquered and that has power. And that's actually what a lot of these people want. And so it was really quite remarkable to see that happening in real time. And it really clicked for me that Donald Trump is the creation of culture. And this is why they hate him so much.
Well,
why they need to cancel him.
On that point, I read a survey several years ago when he won the first time. And it said that Trump, it was a study, a proper data analysis of celebrity power based on media coverage of celebrities around the world. And Trump had more media coverage than the next 1,000 most famous people combined, right? I don't think there's any doubt that Trump is the most famous person in the world. I would have put him up there with the late, great Queen of England, but now that she sadly died, I think Trump is the biggest star on the planet, for better or worse.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt, bro.
Is actually a problem for the Democrats. It's been a problem for the other Republican candidates to be nominee. They got completely blown away. And it's going to be a big problem for the Democrats if Joe Biden, who looks increasingly senile, can barely string a sentence together. He did okay.
It's so true.
The perception of American voters right now, particularly Democrat voters, 2/3 of whom don't want him to run again, is that he's just too old. And Trump is, all right, he's not far off him in age, but in terms of vitality, it's like chalk and cheese.
It's seriously like what I was just telling somebody earlier. Like they were like, "Oh, Trump looks this." I'm like, "What are you talking about, bro?" I'm like, "Trump looks healthier than he did 6 years ago." I'm like, "You guys, you're insane, bro." Like I saw a picture of Trump. Bro, he looks slim. I'm like, bro, he's ready, dude. He's still all the way there, dude. You can't have a conversation with Joe Biden.
And you combine that with Trump's star power.
Appreciate it, Tammy.
A general sense of Biden's lost it. And if Biden's a candidate, I think Trump wins.
Yeah, I mean, look, again, like I said before, if Trump is not removed somehow, I think right now that's overwhelmingly what it looks like is going to happen.
It looks like it to me.
As far as, yes, Donald Trump is old too. I think most people in general would agree that, generally speaking, people this age shouldn't be president.
Why does that matter? In all honesty, that really does not matter to me. Because with age comes wisdom, but like it's different with Joe Biden because he's becoming. It's clear he has dementia, right? So if it's clear that Joe Biden has dementia, it's different than the wisdom that comes with age. You know what I mean? Like Trump is a highly intelligent businessman. He is highly intelligent. He is more intelligent than the average person. You better believe that.
The obvious difference is that if you go look at a tape from Donald Trump 10 years ago giving a speech, or you listen to him today giving a speech, he sounds exactly the same. That is not true for Joe Biden. He is very clearly lost a step. And even in this State of the Union, which, as you said, and I'll agree, he did better than, if the standard is he was able to walk and get up there and read words off a teleprompter. He did pull that off.
The bar is very low.
But literally, we're all sitting here going, he pulled it off. He actually spoke words out of a teleprompter.
Yeah, he did.
This is just not the case for Donald Trump. And as far as the point of Donald Trump being so famous for so long, look, I'll tell you, like, I'm a stand-up comedian, so I've performed a lot in my career in front of an audience.
Yeah, but you know, at the end of the day, David, I've learned a lot of stuff, and you just gotta wish them people well and hope that they, you know, come to, but understand that they might never. It is what it is, you know. Like I have a lot of friends that are liberals, and you know, I love them still. You know, they're still my friends. I don't judge them for their views. It is what it is, even though I know it's wrong. You know, it is what it is.
And there is something about, you know, like when you first start stand.
That's the great thing about being a conservative is, you know, you understand that people have their own viewpoints. Whether you agree with them or not, you know that they're allowed to. Whereas most of these liberals, you know, if you don't agree with them, they want to attack you, they want to spit on you, they want to blah, 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 they want to this, that, and the third, and it's just, it is what it is. Still worse than before. Bro, listen, I always, RJ, so I swear, I promise you, I always tell people, Biden is just as great content-wise as Trump is, but for the complete opposite reason. Trump, the way he handled the media, the way he gave his speeches, the way he torched people, dude, when he said, Abu Abari, he's dead. We came in the front door and he died like a pig, or whatever he said. Bro, that is great content. Biden, the way he talks is fucking just as hilarious as Trump, just for the opposite reason. It's because you don't understand what the fuck he's saying.
It's a very nerve-wracking experience to go up in front of an audience. After you've been doing it for a long time, you're kind of used to it. Donald Trump, from the minute he started running, when he would go into the debates, if you can just imagine, put yourself in Jeb Bush's position. You've been the brother of the president, the son of the president.
Very successful
governor down in a successful governor, but have you ever been on that stage before? On that big of a stage?
And called low energy, the moment he said low energy, Jeb, he either...
But here's the thing, you know, David, what if it's never removed, you know? I feel like we as individuals have to do what's right, you know? We have to do what's right just for us, and, you know, it's kind of like you should be able... You ever see that meme where, like, the dog's sitting there sipping tea and everything around him's on fire? That's kind of like how life has to be, you know? You should be able to sit there and sip your tea while the world crumbles around you because, you know, you're not the world. You know what I mean? We're individuals. It's just the way I look at it.
He either looked like he had low energy or he overcompensated and looked like a Duracell bunny. Either way, he was toast.
But why is it Donald Trump gets out there? He's already been hosting the #1 television show in the world. He gets out there and cracks his neck, and he's like, I'm right where I belong. Let's go to work. And I think that is a big advantage over other politicians.
Without a doubt, bro. And listen, man, I'm telling you, Trump is changing politics for the better. People will really, really, really appreciate this 20, 30 years down the line. I promise you so much. If everything just goes the way it's supposed to go, I promise you people will appreciate this for the rest of the
Question. Now, I want to come back to Destiny. I want to give you a little bit of fun here, Destiny. We're having a lot of fun at Biden's expense. But this lady, Katie Britt, who popped up after the State of Union.
Like, here's an example, David, right? My grandma, she's a liberal. You know, I love her. And she thinks I'm in a cult. You know what I mean? So I just laugh at her because, like, I don't know. It's still my grandma. What am I going to do? Hate her? You know what I mean? I don't hate anybody. So... that's just, you know, one case of it.
To give the Republican response. Let's take a little look at her in action.
Good evening, America. My name is Katie Britt, and I have the honor of serving the people of the great state of Alabama in the United States Senate. However, that's not the job that matters most. I am a proud wife and mom of 2 school-aged kids, my daughter Bennett and my son Ridgway.
David, do you watch Jesse Lee Peterson at all?
Are why I ran for the Senate. I'm worried about their future and the future of children in every corner of our nation. And that's why I invited you into our home tonight.
Well, Scarlett Johansson popped up on Saturday Night Live and gave this version of Miss Brit.
Good evening, America. My name is Katie Britt.
Okay, let me show you something really quick, right? We'll go back to this in 1 second. I'm going to show you something on my page. Let me find it. It's Tube Studio. Content. I don't know which one it is. Shit. Yeah, you know what? We could watch this one. And I should be able to.
Female.
If you have anger,
Black.
and how the can't get it. Joe Ellis. You know it doesn't work. Did you try it?
No.
Fuck, I gotta find it.
I didn't have a belief in it. In Jesus, then you believe in.
No, that's not it. He's talking to another pastor, and I had
me, my own people.
So when they.
Unless one speaks too much truth from us, that's without a doubt. Give me 1 second, I'll try and find it.
No one can make.
When they're the ones who.
I just remember.
LeBron.
Shit, I can't. I don't. I'm not gonna ruin it. So we'll just go back to this. We'll just go back to this. I'll look for it later.
And I have the honor.
But Jesse Lee talks about one time he's talking to another pastor, and he's like, "I understand what you're saying." He's like, "Let's say, you know, the schools never change, right? You know how the schools with all this shit, right? Let's say the schools never change. And the government never changes, right? That doesn't mean that you can't change, right? And if you change and you have that real inner peace," video on your page, I'd probably watch it. I appreciate it, David. Yeah, and he talks about it. He's like, so he basically saying, like, you know, like I said, you should be able to sit in the fire and let the world crumble around you, because as long as you're good, you're good.
Of serving.
And I don't mean like you're a good person. I mean like, you know, as long as like, you know, you do what's right, you know, you make it to heaven. You know, and you know, you can't worry about everybody else at the end of the day. You know, you got to hope and wish them well and hope that they make.
Well, Detson, before I get your reaction to this, Charlie Kirk, the CEO of the Trump-affiliated group Turning Points USA, said Joe Biden just declared war on the American right, and Katie Britt is talking like she's hosting a cooking show. So even a lot on the right were like, you know, creeped out by this. I mean, it was completely, it reminded me a lot of Sarah Palin when she came along, and John McCain inexplicably decided to go with Palin, which probably cost him that election. What did you make of this when you were watching it?
I feel like it's a perfect summary right now of where the Conservative Party is at in the United States. This is like fake, this feigned outrage for what's going on. It's these impassioned pleas to save the country. It's the horrendous misciting. Like we just got, you know, all of these people upset that Biden mispronounced the one lady's name, and here this lady is completely and totally misrepresenting this story, trying to blame Biden for the woman that had basically been sex trafficked. What I think it was like 10 or 20 years ago. This lady's been traveling around the country telling this story for.
Oh yeah, they showed that at the beginning of this, David. I did see that.
Like some decades now, and Katie's trying to pretend like this happened under Biden. I just think it's a perfect summation of what the Conservative Party stands for right now, which is like all outrage and no substance.
Benny, have you got any defense of Miss Britt? Did you think this was a powerful moment for the Republicans?
This is why you're so good at what you do, Piers, because I like on its face, I agree with Destiny. because
What's up,
we
Angel?
deserved
How you
better
doing?
as a response to the State of the Union. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but like
That's my headline now. That's my headline for the tease for this segment. Benny Johnson, I agree with Destiny.
Katie Britt deserves a Razzie for that performance. And if you listen to the way that she talks as like a normal person, that's not the way she talks. No. It's totally performative. And there are real serious person. It's not just a girl. It's Laken Riley. She's an American. Her family is mourning, and they deserve, obviously, to have their daughter alive and not slaughtered by a criminal alien. But as a Republican Party, messaging matters. It's really important. And you can't put up somebody like that. I don't know why they didn't pick Vivek. I got to be honest with you. I don't know why they didn't pick Vivek.
I agree.
This is absolutely a time to have Vivek Ramaswamy talk, and he's a great communicator. Yeah. Why they went this way,
that's true.
I do not know. It was a gift. This is the final thing I'll say.
That's
it's
true.
A gift. Because then suddenly the pivot goes from Joe Biden sort of angrily screaming for 90 minutes, getting Laken Riley's name wrong, and having a number of hot mic moments saying that Bibi Netanyahu needs a come to Jesus moment, saying that he wishes he had cognitive decline, which is both things Joe Biden said after the speech. Strange. Whatever. Like, and Joe Biden getting yelled at by a father who lost his Marine son in Afghanistan. Steve Nakui was up there in the audience. He got arrested by Joe Biden afterwards, or at least by the Capitol Police. But all of that aside, Katie Britt then becomes the joke.
Right.
And so then you sort of like move, the target moves over to Katie Britt, and SNL doesn't open on her, a cold open on her instead of Joe Biden.
Well, listen, let's be fair, right? Let's be fair about this, right? Number one, Saturday Night Live has been on the decline for years and years and years. I've seen funny segments here and there, like the Californians were funny. They did the Main Justice, that was funny, right? But it has been on the decline for years, right? Number two, hey, they can do what they want. They don't even know how to make fun of Joe Biden the right way. Bro, have you guys seen him? Jim Carrey made him look like he was the most conscientious person in the world and the coolest person in the world, and it was just terrible, right? The only time they made fun of Biden the right way was when Shane Gillis was just on there, which is the only time that Saturday Night Live has been funny in recent years, was when Shane Gillis was on there, and he did a skit where he had Trump sneakers, and he told them they had to do Biden the right way. Like, you had to make him look the right way. But then the next week, they make him look like he's this cool person again. It's just pathetic. Everybody knows, but Saturday Night Live can do what they want. They're responsible for their own ratings. So if they want to make him look like the greatest man in the world, go right ahead.
I completely agree. Stupid. I just want to pivot, if I can, Dave, with you to RFK Jr., who I know you've interviewed recently. He's a very interesting character. I've interviewed him several times now, and I find him very interesting. I think he's a really charismatic, experienced guy. He seems to wind up all the right kind of people. Clearly serious, and he comes from a serious political family. And he's raising money, and he's got popularity. What do you think of his significance in this race, if he has any?
Well, I agree with you. I mean, I think he's a very impressive person, and he's very smart. I mean, look, he's a guy who you want to listen to who can't speak. So that's pretty impressive. He makes people he's going on a national speaking tour and resonating with millions of people, and he has major issues speaking, and you can get past that because he's just got interesting things to say. Yeah. I got to say, I do think that for whatever reason, his position on the war in Gaza has just totally ruined his campaign. And all you have to do is run the counterfactual here. I mean, imagine...
No, I never heard of either of those, David. What are those ones? Trace Smith or God in a Nutshell? No. Listen, the only reason I started watching Jesse Lee Peterson, and then I just started watching him every single day, was because I seen a video where it said, like, what black guy thinks about Trump, and I thought he was going to be like a hater. Like, let's see what he has to say. And I'm like, oh, I love this guy. And then I just started watching more. And then I found Get a Job, and I started watching Savage Moments. And it was just on from there. And, like, I literally went down like a Jesse Lee Peterson rabbit hole, and I watch him every day now.
Come out against that war and against U.S. support for it. Right now, 50% of Democratic voters call it a genocide. In other words, they believe that Joe Biden is funding and facilitating a genocide. There's also a good amount of non-interventionists on the right. He could have pulled in so many voters, been the real anti-war candidate, opposed to our proxy war in Ukraine, opposed to backing Israel in this war. And instead, as was pointed out earlier by Destiny, and I think he was right about this, that there's really nowhere else to go for a political candidate, because Donald Trump is out there saying, I'll be even better for Israel. And then RFK is going around with Rabbi Shmuley and letting everybody know that he'll be even more pro-Israel. And there's this enormous contingency that is appalled by what's going on over there and wants no part of it, certainly not to be funding it. But he, for whatever reason, feels differently. And so I do think it's a real shame.
I want to bring in just some news that's broken while we've been talking, actually. It's quite fascinating. I've got a sort of personal view on this. But Don Lemon, you may remember, who got fired from CNN. And he then got offered a lifeboat by Elon Musk, who said, look, come and do a show for me on X, rather like with Tucker Carlson. So the Don Lemon show was announced quite recently. And he then announced...
I always call him Don Lemonade.
In the last 2 days, his first interview was going to be with Elon Musk, technically his employer and certainly his bankroller for the new show. And he did the interview and announced, and it was all going to happen, all going to be revealed, I think, on Monday. And Elon Musk has now cancelled Don Lemon's show because of the way the interview went, which has stunned Don Lemon, who said that he felt it went pretty well. But he said, Elon Musk is mad at me. It doesn't change my relationship with him, except that it'll have to now be on YouTube. X have come out and said the Don Lemon show is welcome to publish his content on X, but we, like any enterprise, we reserve the right to make decisions about our business partnerships. Not to cover consideration, decided not to enter a commercial partnership with the show. I mean, Elon Musk is a mercurial character. In my view, he's a genius. He's done incredible things. But he has a very thin skin. I mean, I was supposed to interview him in January, was dealing with him directly, was going to go to Austin, and then he saw a clip of me and Zuby where I was criticizing his decision to allow Alex Jones back on the platform, which I still think was wrong. I gave him a mild chiding over it. And
see, that's what peers don't understand, and you're taking away freedom of speech, and that's not what we're for.
He canceled the...
I don't think anybody should be taken off of platforms unless they're, like, trying to do some weird stuff, you know what I mean? Like, but, like, just for what, if they're saying something, they can say what they want.
Interview. Just like that, bang. And said he lost all respect for me. Can a guy be the king of free speech in the way that Elon Musk wants us to think he is?
Elon Musk
do this kind of thing.
Yeah, could you have the right to refuse any interview that you want. That's the point of free speech. He's not forced to do it. I think Piers Morgan is getting that wrong.
I think very many people hold freedom of speech as a principle. I think freedom of speech tends to be weaponized by the side that feels like they don't have a voice at any particular moment in time. So right now you see conservatives championing freedom of speech while simultaneously supporting Donald Trump, who said he would want to open up defamation lawsuits against media companies, or he would want to revoke the citizenship of Americans who would set the flag on fire, or he wants to suspend the Constitution to run for office and investigate voter fraud claims, right? I don't think that people have these very principled commitments to freedom.
What's wrong with any of that?
Of speech.
I didn't hear anything wrong with any of that.
I think that they tend to just weaponize them when they feel like they're not getting their voice heard. I think for a long time, for Twitter, conservatives felt that, and honestly, rightfully so. I think that some of the censorship stuff that was being exercised across a lot of the social media platforms was pretty heavy-handed, and I think, thankfully, a lot of policies have started to be rolled back, so like YouTube doesn't censor people as aggressively as they used to. That being said, if you look at Elon Musk, you should have known from day one, as soon as the Twitter files dropped in the way that they did, where Elon Musk basically brought in a bunch of PR journalists to go over files that his employees would make available for him, for them to blow up the prior owners of Twitter. You should have known that his commitment to freedom of speech was only insofar as it would serve his needs and his ends. And I think you've seen that show up basically over and over again as he's ran Twitter. So it's no surprise that if he feels like somebody's not giving him the favorable type of coverage that he'd want, that he would probably try to axe these people from his platform, or he wouldn't be interested in working with them in the future.
I mean, Benny, it's pretty extraordinary to cancel a show that you have bankrolled after one show, and it's an interview with you.
So I think we're missing the entire point here, which is the difference between Twitter 1.0 and X, called Twitter 2.0, Elon's Twitter. Twitter 1.0 wasn't just canceling shows. There were no shows, by the way, on Twitter 1.0. They were deleting accounts. They were deleting the voices of people. They were stopping you from speaking. They were deboosting your content. They were making it so people couldn't find you or you couldn't grow on the platform. I was one of those people. I'm in the Twitter files. So is Charlie Kirk. So is a bunch of other people. They banned the sitting president of the United States who had 88 million followers at the time.
Yeah.
It's totally different to say I'm in a business relationship with you and I decided this business relationship doesn't work. Elon Musk does that all the time.
Yeah, you're allowed to do that.
Businessman, that's what makes him.
That's your business. You can do what you want with your business. If I just spent billions of dollars on something, I'm gonna do what I want with
the
it.
Richest man on earth. And so Elon Musk isn't canceling Don Lemon's voice. That would be actually anti-freedom of speech. Anti-freedom of speech isn't I refuse to pay you money because I don't like your content.
I think he's perfectly entitled to cancel the show if he's put money into it.
Right.
Of course he is. It's the optics of it to me are a little bit like, come on, Elon. You know, you give this guy a show, you do an interview, and whatever went. I mean, everyone will watch that interview now. But how bad was it really to justify canceling the show?
Also, Twitter still deboosts content. They deboost whole platforms that people do. Like if you do a Substack link in your Twitter post because Elon's so mad about Substack trying to compete with Twitter, they'll literally deboost that tweet. So this still happens. The algorithm is open source.
Well, Dave Smith, let me bring in you on something else that's broken.
But like, I don't understand what Piers is trying to get at. I don't understand because like, he just agreed with Benny and then he said no. I don't understand. Like, that's what Benny said is the truth. If he doesn't want to pay him, he literally said, "Hey, you can still post on my platform, but I'm not paying for your show anymore." I don't get it.
Which is the UK.
I don't know. I really don't understand the argument. If one of you guys can tell me the argument, let me know.
Sorry, the US House of Representatives
I don't know.
has approved a landmark bill that could see TikTok banned in America. This has been a raging issue for quite some time.
For sure, RJ.
Concern about China's influence over TikTok, despite TikTok saying that they have a US entity that's very separate. 150 million people in America use TikTok. It is the #1 news source for people under 24, I think, now in the world. Is it actually a good thing if America bans TikTok, or is it a bad thing?
No, I mean, I think it's horrible. At least the text of the legislation that I had seen as of yet.
It makes zero sense. Like, you're allowing all these Chinese to come in illegally through the border, and then you're also allowing the Chinese government to buy land in America. They've been buying land in America for years now, right? And you're going to ban a platform that at least allows freedom of speech. I mean, listen, I post a lot of my gaming clips on TikTok, right? But I want to show you guys something really quick, all right? I'll show you, right? Most of my TikTok stuff is gaming, right? If you'll see, right? Most of it's gaming, right? It's all just clips, you know, different Call of Duty clips, you know, stuff like that. My videos that got views are 3 political videos, right? Those are let me see. Yeah, I think you guys can see them. The 3 political videos, right? This is one. Right? So they give people that freedom of speech, bro. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with the data.
And I'm not sure if that's changed as it passed today. But this Thomas Massey, who is, I believe, the best congressman in the country, he was sounding the alarm bells on this, and that there is the language is so vague and so slippery that it would give the government the ability to control all types of different social media sites and to censor all types of content. And keep in mind that the U.S. federal government has been trying to
We're not for censorship.
regulate the internet and censor people online for years, from back when they attempted with SOPA to the net neutrality stuff, to all of the stuff we learned of in the Twitter files, where the FBI and even the CIA are coming in and talking about which accounts they want to be banned and asking Twitter why this person is still on there, and things where it was just people during the COVID lockdown saying like, hey, I don't think these lockdowns work, or hey, I don't think this vaccine actually does stop you from getting COVID. My point is, many of the people who were vindicated and turned out to be right. And so, yeah, I think there's a real problem with TikTok. But you don't think that they were
Without a doubt,
right,
bro.
Destiny, when they said
they're just paid shills, David. That's all. They're shills. They're paid off by the liberals. That's all.
The
We know
vaccine,
what it
of course,
is.
would stop
The
you from
vast
getting it.
majority of the COVID conspiracies were absolutely false. There is no worldwide vaccine passport mandate. There aren't all these people dying from.
No. They were trying to do that, though. They were trying, but the people were not having it. That's what it was.
Created a bioweapons lab in Ukraine.
Okay, but you're arguing with something I didn't say. I'm saying the official narrative was that it didn't come from the lab. If you get the vaccine, you cannot get it and you cannot transmit it. These were huge stories that were flatly wrong. No, you're shaking your head. That's not wrong.
The official position of the NIH or the government was not that if you get vaccinated, you will never transmit it and you will never get sick. I know that there is the one quote that people. Yes, I'm aware that there's the one.
You know who Biden reminds me of? You guys ever watch The Simpsons? Remember the grandpa's friend with the walker and the glasses, the little old guy? Let me see if I can find him. Let's see if we can find it really quick. Hold on. I can't find him. I know you guys remember though.
But for anybody that
He reminds me of the grandpa, the little old
all
grandpa.
of the statements, nobody actually.
I think it was that
It's
guy.
unfathomable
He was
to me.
like the
People
little
will
old
make
man
so
that
many
used to walk
excuses for
around with the
every single
walker.
Trump gaffe will come out and take like 7 words quoted by the president. And
excuse
go,
have I
oh
made
my
for
God,
Trump?
they said the vaccine was 100% effective. It would never. That's unbelievable. Nobody really thought that. That's an unbelievable.
Okay, fine.
But
Nobody
also, the only thing I was
thought
finding
it.
was the idea that all these people
Nobody really
vindicated.
thought
They weren't
it, but the
vindicated.
president. Okay, you're right. First off, I haven't made any excuses for Trump gaffes. I think you're just trying to create something that you assume is me. But nobody said it, nobody thought it, except the president of the United States of America and Fauci. You're right. Nobody else ever said that you can't
I
get
think you
COVID
need more
if you
than
get the
one
vaccine.
sentence of a thing to see if they genuinely thought that the vaccine would be 100% prevent. Like none of our vaccines are 100% effective or prevent the transmission of 100% of a disease if you caught it. There's no vaccine like that.
Can I just say, chaps?
So they shouldn't have said that then.
Can I say, chaps, you have all three of you lived up to every expectation as a collective unit. So thank you very much indeed. We've covered a wide range of things. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I appreciate you coming on Uncensored. Thank you very much.
You got to have us back, Piers, because that was getting hot. Got to talk about myocarditis. Got to talk about myocarditis.
Well, you know what? We will. We'll talk about myocarditis. I'm very happy to do that, but I'll do it another time. But we will. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Godspeed.
Oh, man, I swear they don't go hard enough on each other. Let me show you something. Let me see if I can find it. Actually, I could go to this.
With every update day comes a new meta, except I don't know if this gun's good yet, so you know the drill. Every kill's $2.
Did you guys see this yet?
So we can safely assume that Trump.
So listen, this chick made this video, right? And I seen it, I was like, oh my God, this bitch made the greatest Trump. This chick made the greatest video to transition from Biden to Trump. Bro, it's so funny.
So we can safely assume that Trump is going to be the Republican nominee for president. Here are the first 15 promises he has made if he is reelected. You may have heard of Project 2025, but this is from Agenda 47. You can read all of these on his website. First, he promises that he will carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in history. He will
Tell me that doesn't sound amazing.
also ask for the death sentence for anyone convicted of human trafficking.
Tell me that doesn't sound amazing.
He will close the Department of Education and return all education standards to the states to decide.
Tell me that doesn't sound amazing.
He will put prayer back into school, and he will criminalize any race-based advantage program.
Tell me that doesn't sound amazing.
He will end the Affordable Care Act. He will ban gender-affirming care for adults and children.
Tell me this chick isn't selling Donald Trump to everybody.
He will ban any federal dollars from going towards gender-affirming care, which means anyone with government-provided health care will no longer be able to access gender-affirming care except for Viagra and Cialis. Those will still be available. He will propose a constitutional amendment that gives a term limit to Congress.
Tell me that doesn't sell you.
He will deploy the Department of Justice.
Amazing!
To fight the crime family and any of his adversaries or
mean, what? Like, what are you? I'm gonna like this. I mean, I'm gonna comment to this.
He will increase the penalties for underage criminal offenders, strengthen immunity for police officers, and deploy the National Guard to patrol woke cities.
Like, did she really realize what she was doing? Kim Clement. No, we'll look it up in a minute. Is it a person on TikTok?
On day one,
We can look
he
it
will
up after
reassess
this.
our participation in NATO and says that every European country needs to pay the United States for protection.
Bro, I don't. They're selling it, bro. Like, what?
He will also limits on American natural gas exports and drill baby drill for oil domestic.
Yeah.
A tariff of up to 60% on Chinese imports. We will extend the 2017 tax cuts and drop the corporate tax rate from 21% to.
Yo, has she sold you guys yet? Huh? Has she sold you guys yet? Because I think she sold me. Trump 2024.
15%. He will push Congress to pass legislation that in the last several years.
Bro, she's selling me.
He will demand that Europe pay back all the money we gave Ukraine, and then he will use all of that money to recruit for the American military. And he will take billions and billions of dollars from private university endowments by taxing, fining, and suing the universities. He specifically names Harvard in this one. And then he will use that money to create.
Maybe it's. I just assumed it looks like a liberal chick, don't it? Like, really, don't it, bro? It looks like a liberal chick. Maybe it's one of them. I don't know.
It is a free option.
Maybe it's just a super feminine guy. It sold me. Whatever it was, we'll say it. So let's see, what do you say? Kim Clement? Is this it? No. Is this what you were talking about? I'm still not sure. I don't know either, RJ. Regardless, I wouldn't touch it.
The third seal. A black horse, the third seal, was broken, and the apostle says, when he opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, "Come and see." So I looked, and behold, a black horse, and he who sat on it had a pair of scales in his hand. Revelation 6:5-6. The color black surely implies a departure from the purity of the faith of Jesus, represented by the white horse of the conquering apostolic church. Black also signifies sadness and want. The pair of balances is a symbol of scarcity of bread, representing spiritual food, or the scarcity of the holy word of God, being doled out by weight. The Apostle Paul had foretold the apostasy in Acts 20:29-30. For I know this, that after my departure savage wolves will come in among you, not sparing the flock. Also from among yourselves men will rise up, speaking perverse things, to draw away the disciples after themselves. And so it happened. For the next 200 years, There was a great departure from pure gospel truth and widespread absorption of pagan philosophy and forms. There grew up also a union of the church.
Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that.
The third seal. A black horse, the third seal was broken. God. The Apostle Paul had foretold the apostasy in Acts 20:29-30. For I know this, that after my departure savage wolves will come in among you, not sparing the flock. Also from among yourselves men will rise up, speaking.
Hey, we need one more like, you guys, to hit 10 likes. Can one of you guys hit that like for me if you haven't yet?
Perverse things, to draw away the disciples after themselves. And so it happened. For the next 200 years, there was a great departure from pure gospel truth and widespread absorption of pagan philosophy and forms. There grew up also a union of the church with the state. The fourth seal. A pale horse. This is the vision of dark times. When he opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature saying, "Come and see." So I looked, and behold, a pale horse. And the name of him who sat on it was Death, and Hades followed with him. And power was given to them over a fourth of the earth, to kill with sword, with hunger, with death, and by the beasts of the earth. Revelation 6:7-8. Notice it is a pale horse, the very color of death. Notice the fourfold judgment. Power was given unto them, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. This seal represents the Dark Ages, when the principles of religious and civil liberty were obscured, and leaders in both the political and spiritual realm were far from our present-day blessings of democracy and religious
Appreciate
freedom.
it, David.
This seal was marked by much cooperation of the political and spiritual powers, and of religious wars and troubles. The history of those times is full of the sad record of intolerance, especially religious intolerance, and it was not limited to any one religion, or to any one religion or race. Catholics suffered, Protestants suffered, Jews suffered, and those of other religious views, and even those of no religious profession, suffered. It is said that many, many thousands were put to death for their faith in those sorrowful years. How thankful we can be for the religious freedom we enjoy today. The third seal, a black horse.
Wow, it's definitely insightful. I'll give it a follow. I've never read the Bible, to be honest. I was gonna say KJ. Is that another thing on here? Let's look it up. KJV Bible. Did I type that right? Is that must be on YouTube, huh? So here, I'll show you guys mine. So these are the ones that I put this up.
Representative Jackie, are you here? I didn't think she was going to be here to help make this a reality.
They got me 23,000. This got 147,000.
And it's so close.
It's 50 meters away now. That's
right. That's it. That's it.
And then this one, this has got me my most. Oh yeah. That was, for some reason, it was still that was from the Bible, right? This is some of my. I don't know if you guys are into gaming or anything. Knocked him.
His name's Picky. Well done. Two of them.
Oh, I just knocked that dude out the air. Oh my god, I just knocked that dude out the air. I'm focusing with y'all.
There's a sniper.
Knocked him. I knocked him.
You knocked him.
Look, this is an old school clip from back in Verdansk. I don't know if you guys are into gaming or anything. This is like way back in the days, though. I killed all 4 of them people. Yeah, TikTok's weird though. TikTok's definitely a weird place. Let's see. And oh man. I even get my clips on some of these Call of Duty things. Do you have a Telegram account I could send you tons of stuff that will blow your mind about truly? Yeah, I do. Let me look it up. I don't know what it is. Give me 1 second. I hardly use Telegram. I made it like a long time ago. Shoot, I don't even know what my Telegram account is for some reason. It's not. I thought it was logged in on this phone. It might be on my other phone. I'm gonna have to watch that. I get on this page on this channel sometimes, and I'll show you guys really quick. What video was that?
Moving.
I read Holy King James. Okay, and you got the Quran. Have you read the Quran, Tammy? I've never read anything, honestly. What video was that? This one, maybe?
These.
Let me see. No, I don't think this one. Was it this one? No. Maybe this one? Yeah, right here. So watch. Right after this guy, I'm on here. Check out The Prophet of Trump by Trey Smith. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Marking the rest of that squad on your tac map. Get hunting.
Watch.
That was nuts.
Broke my legs. She's just selling me.
No f***ing way, dude. Oh my god.
I'm
trying to give him time.
Always good to have epic.
That's pretty cool, though. Yeah, alright, so hold on, let's see. So, Prophet of Trump. Is that a, Kim? Is this it right here? Oh, you just got it today, Tammy? That's cool. Let's watch it. After this, I'm going to jump off here for the night, guys. I really appreciate it. Hey, I just wanted you guys to know I really appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out with me. Maybe we'll do this a little bit more. I wasn't sure how to take this channel. Maybe I'll do some live streams with it a little more. Maybe I'll live stream like a couple hours a day or something.
Trump shall become a trumpet
says the Lord. No, you didn't hear me. Trump shall become a trumpet. Are you listening to me? I will raise up the Trump to become a trumpet. He will be a praying president, not a religious one. For I will fool the people, says the Lord. I will fool the people. Yes, I will. God says, the one that is chosen shall go in, and they shall say, he has hot blood. For the Spirit of God says, yes, he may have hot blood, but he will bring the walls of protection on this country in a greater way, and the economy of this country shall change rapidly, says the Lord of hosts. Listen to the word of the Lord. God says, I will put at your helm for 2 terms a president that will pray, but he will not be a praying president when he starts. I will put him in office, and then I will baptize him with the Holy Spirit and my power, says the Lord of hosts. Now God says, a president that I will bring into the White House, and they will say he is ungodly, he does not know God. But even as Jesus disguised himself for the great feast, so I have disguised this man's heart. And when he comes to the White House, not only shall he be mine, but he shall pray as a man that has never prayed in the White House. Is anybody excited about this? That same man, says the Spirit of God, shall put his feet onto this platform, and God says they will say, how did this take place? Laws shall change. Young men and young women
2
shall have
terms.
access into the
Let's get it,
kingdom,
Con.
and with authority into politics, and with authority into the industries that now have been controlled by darkness. Because of this man that shall rule for another 2 terms, for 2 terms, God said, do not fear, for the Lord says there will be no unnecessary stuff.
You too, Tammy. Hey, without a doubt, David, listen, not only second term coming up, only second president term to have non-consecutive terms. Not only that, the first president to be impeached twice and got found not guilty on both charges. The first president to get impeached twice, and it's going to be the president in 2024. Unless they cheat. Which, don't think that they can't cheat either.
There will be things that men shall...
The devil will be at work this election season.
Fear not, for he shall sit in that seat, and suddenly my Spirit shall come upon him and baptize him with a fire and with anointing, says the Spirit of the Lord. Come on! No more war! No more
Man,
war!
think about this. This was in 2007, right? Or they cheat? Yeah, that's basically it. Which, look at what they're doing right now. This is literally political prosecution that's going on, Conscious. Think about it. You know what I mean? Everything that he's being accused of right now is everything that was done in the past, and it could have been trumpet on but Khan, think about it. Everything he done isn't like anything new. You know what I mean? Like he was with the documents thing, right? Biden stole documents. Biden and Trump are the same age, regardless of anything. So you're telling me that Biden's not all the way there enough to stand prosecution for something that Trump's being prosecuted for, but he's well enough there to run our country. What does that tell you? Like, we're so weak. That's so true, Conscious. That's so true, you know. Research Baron Trump's marvelous underground journey. Oh, I seen that. They wrote a book where he went back in time and bought. Yeah, I seen that. Crazy, right?
Time for war has gone. The time of war has gone. And peace shall reign as not like before. Listen to me. The time of war has gone. Time for peace has come. And I will walk in your streets again.
It's crazy to think this was in 07, dude. This, like, he didn't run till what, 2016? Prophesies these two impeachments as well. That's why we should keep religion out of politics. I don't know though, Con. Here's the thing: our country is based on Judeo-Christian, basic religion. You know, so this is Kim in 2007. Yeah, I see that. That's crazy. This is 07. So look at it like this, Con. Like, to say that, like, we should keep religion in politics because look what's going on. You know, just my theory. Unfortunately, it's not in politics right now. You know. They don't really have religion too much in politics. This is the devil's playground, regardless. So.
In the house they call white.
That's crazy.
Shall receive
Like I said, it's crazy to think that this was 2007, David.
a man who stood in your night. In the house
I don't know. We're supposed to be a Christian nation, you know.
that you call white.
But the point of Christianity though is to allow people to be themselves. You know what I mean? Like, you can't change nobody. You're supposed to just wish people well and seek forgiveness. So I don't know. Everybody has their views.
Shall receive a man and
That's the greatest thing of this country. We all have our views.
night. I fought for you.
Just months before he was actually going to meet with Trump. Really, that's crazy. Wow,
Thank you so much.
that's crazy to think that was in 07. When did he die? What year did he die? Here, we'll subscribe to him. That's pretty cool. Let's see if I'm on this video.
Who is he?
And then I'm getting off here.
This is why I
Yeah, I feel like anybody should practice their
Stop
own religion.
shopping on-
Honestly, I feel we should just disband the government
Amazon.
and restart it. You know.
And you should too. Don't spend another dime on Amazon.
Don't get that gun. Don't get that gun. Don't get a gun yet.
They had to put my video up here. No way they didn't put my clip up. Oh, it's such a good snipe clip. Nope. I didn't see me. Yeah, but unfortunately, we're too weak, and it'll never happen. It is what it is. You know, what can you do? Think about it. Like I said earlier, I don't know if you were in here. So we as people have to be just responsible for ourselves. You know what I mean? A reset is a great thing, honestly. I don't understand why we have two ideologies in this world, in this country. But I get it because everybody wants to be free, but like, it's just, definitely, it starts with you. It starts with you. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you follow what's right, you can't worry about what everybody else is doing. You got to make sure you know, I don't know. Time does not operate how we were programmed to believe. That could be true. It definitely does start locally, Con. It definitely does. I can't disagree with that at all. Do you guys watch Kill Tony at all? It's so funny. This is my best friend's page right here. He's really good at Call of Duty as well. What? He has members only Cliff? He's such a G. This is some of his stuff.
I'm going up top.
He's raw.
They're up there. I got a border up there.
Wait. Oh, this is a funny clip.
I forgot about my border.
Yeah, you as well, Con. I really appreciate you, bro. I'm gonna get off here.
My POV of that. I'm an idiot.
It was great. He's really good, though. For real. Watch. And he has muscular dystrophy, too. So his range of motion isn't the same. And he's way better than me. Still. It doesn't even stop him at all.
Heli.
Fuck out of here.
One's on us.
He died in December of 2016, really?
Zip.
Okay.
Yeah, like that tube in his nose right there. That's how he breathes. It helps him breathe a lot. That's not how he breathes because he can breathe without it, but it helps him breathe a lot because of his condition. It's really cool. It's crazy how far things have come. Oh man. All right, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I'm definitely going to be doing these a little bit more often. We'll see you guys later. Have a great one. Peace.